So it's coming into the year 2025. So I thought I'd give some SEO predictions for the year, right? So things have been changing a lot, right? AI is taking over absolutely everything, right? And first of all, I would just think that, yeah, it's like AI is definitely here to stay. If you don't think so, I think you're in the wrong industry at this point because, you really need to, know what AI, know everything about what's happening and for content generation, for other tools, that you can use and AI search like ChatGPT Search and Perplexity, all of that is just going to become more and more important. So first of all is the decline of informational content, right? So I mean this in regards to, we don't really need to produce as much informational content, questions and answers. Google can do this, ChatGPT can do this, right? So people are not going to go to websites for a simple question and answer piece of content, right? If you have something like a tutorial, then maybe that's a good thing with screenshots, okay, stuff like that. But as AI tools get better and better, right, they can do a lot of this for us. So while information and content still does work today, I think it's gonna, struggle for in 2025 and onwards, right? It's just more and more difficult, right? I still think there's a place for it, right? Especially when you educate your audience, but it's getting more and more difficult. So that's why I think video is gonna keep going up and up, right? People are watching more and more videos, right? They want to see real tutorials about how to do stuff. And, I find myself watching more and more YouTube every single day because people are sharing things that, that's where people are sharing the most up-to-date informative information. So I do think AI search engines are going to get better at finding the information right in the videos and in the blog content. So we will hopefully get a better search experience than we've had recently. So, if you're looking for a specific thing, you can just search it and find the right answer. I also think that actually we'll stop using keyboards. That's one of my predictions, to stop using keyboards. We're going to use more voice search. So I don't mean talking to Alexa and things like that. I mean just like that's what I'm doing now all day at work, is just talking to LLMs, right? So talking to ChatGPT and say, do this, do that, do this, do that, and refine this. And that's how I'm working now. And it's just a much better way to work. I don't have to, use my hands at all. I'm just talking, talking, talking. And I feel like that is the way that we are going to work going forward. So next up on my prediction of, these trends that happen, the last couple of years, it's been topical authority, all of that, and content clustering, stuff like that, which is important and just becomes trendy for whatever reason. People just get really into these topics, but you don't need to focus 100% on these topics. It's just like these are trending, right? So the ones that I think are going to become popular this year are NLP and Brand Mentions. So NLP is kind of like just the way computers understand language, right? So people are going to try and manipulate to try to get into ChatGPT Search, right? So just try to answer the question in as basic and clear way as possible. A little bit like, topical authority and this type of stuff. We should have been doing this anyway. I honestly, this is just kind of part of SEO, is that you should be writing clearly and succinctly so that the user can understand your message, right? So in the case of NLP, right, it's just you have to answer the question more specifically, right? But I mean, there's definitely going to be tools around this. Brand mentions basically is like links, but without the actual link, right? So just talks about something that you want to talk about on another website. I'm seeing some services pop up around this topic. It's like get your brand mentioned in hundreds of websites, stuff like that. So I think that's going to be one of the hot topics of 2025. So next up, I think AI content generation tools are going to improve a lot, right? I think the key is going to be automation, right? You can do so many more things with automation, adding in, all this make.com scenarios, stuff like that, so that, you just create a piece of content and then it, gets out into social media easier. I think that's going to be something that we are going to be talking about a lot in 2025. So I've already just made a video yesterday just showing you how much better all the AI tools are getting. So in terms of content, it's just getting better and better. It's at the level now where I think it's at my level, I would consider myself quite a good writer, and it's at my level, if not better. So, the days of humans writing content is starting to fade away. I do think people will still write. There's still a place for that, to express yourself in creative way. It's the same as like chess, right? People still play chess, even though computers are better than us at chess. So people will still write, even though computers are better at writing than us. So I think these tools will focus on automation, right? Automating every single step we need to do as SEOs creating content. And the next thing I think is going to be the big topic that is kind of everybody kind of knows that this is the next big thing, right? Is AI agents, right? And I suppose it's kind of easy to be scared of these AI agents coming along and doing the work of everybody. But it's actually I was talking to an AI agent founder today, and yeah, I was surprised at how easy it is actually to get them to work, right? It's easy to set up, right? And you can get them to do your keyword research. It's basically just putting the parts together of SEO, right? I focus mainly on content SEO, and I know there's more technical details that maybe those people will still, I find it harder to automate these things. In fact, I think there's always going to be what's called human in the loop, right? That's also going to be a phrase you're going to hear a lot of this year, I think, coming. So yeah, human in the loop. You're going to hear all about this. So AI agents are doing stuff, and then you're going to have to troubleshoot stuff that is like, well, what's it doing there? Stuff like that. Setting up, all this automation stuff. And yeah, I just basically think there's going to be a workflow, right? From, content research, topic research, content clustering, keyword research, blog post research. So like everything kind of step by step is going to be done by the AI agent, right? And you get a result, that is much, much better. So I put it down there at the bottom, right? AI workflow optimization. So I think that's kind of like, we need to be thinking in workflows now. So everything is just, workflow. And, setting up an agent for each of these steps, right? So I think that's where we're going. And, I don't really see that as a bad thing, to be honest. I think the more work that we can get AI to do, the less work we have to do. And we can, get more content out. You can see that in tools like development now as well. You can just do a crazy amount of work. If you know how to do it, right, you can still get paid a lot of money, because a lot of people in the world don't know about these tools like Bold.new or Cursor, right? And you could just say, okay, I'll do this project for you. And, it costs 10 grand, and, it takes you 2 days to do it. So, there's a lot of money to be made if you know how to use these, emergent tools like for AI agents, for example. So we'll see a big shakeup with big companies for sure. I think that's definitely going to happen. And the last one I think is probably going to be more in 2026. I think same with this AI agents. I think it's a bit further on in the future, to be honest. I think is RAG, right? Retrieval Augmented Generation. This is kind of the ability to go out and search for information and bring it back and then generate, content, right? So what I'm talking about here is actually with websites, right? So I think, one of the worst things as a content SEO is actually doing updating content. I absolutely hate that. It's like, I did that post, I don't want to go back to it and add stuff, more up-to-date information. So, you can think about, I don't even know what you call this, a framework. Is it a tool, like a RAG tool, where, it can go out and find more information and automatically update for you. So you kind of might be wondering, I've been thinking a little bit about this myself, is like, what is the function of a website then at this point if, ChatGPT can go out and find all the information, and then, I'm saying that your website should also be able to go out and find information. Well, I feel like this image is actually what I was trying to. AI actually created all of this for me, and this is exactly what I wanted. So this is kind of perfect example. So you see, there's a big brain, right? So the big brain here would be ChatGPT. So in this case, it's kind of like, you've probably heard about these knowledge bases. So ChatGPT has all of the knowledge, right? And it's going out to all different websites. But your website will also be kind of like a mini ChatGPT, a domain specific ChatGPT, where it's got like whatever the information is about, SEO in this case, for example. No, you've kind of like trained your website on all the content that you have, and ChatGPT can go out and say, well, this website here says blah, blah, blah. And then, this website here. So it's more like the content is being, you have specific domain knowledge, right? And your website will be more like a chatbot where you can just go off and get information from your chatbot website. It's going to be, it's more of a knowledge based website. You have your static content, which is your blog post, and then also your content, your knowledge base you can give access to a tool like ChatGPT. So that's how I envision this happening, right? So websites are still valuable, right? Because they are domain experts, right, in the specific topic. So this, I think, is going to become more popular at the end of 2025, probably. We'll be talking a lot about this. And yeah, you can subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be talking all about this and how to get your results into ChatGPT Search, which I think is definitely going to be a big, big thing in 2025. It's going to grow and grow, and people are going to move away from Google. Not everybody, obviously. Even if it's 50-50, that's a huge change. And I think that's possible. I think that's well possible next year and 2026, possibly. But it's going to take time, obviously, but I think that's very important. So yeah, adapting to the 2025 SEO landscape. Okay, so video, you need to be making video. I think that's super important as part of your strategy, right? You can use video and then, use an AI tool to change that into a blog post. That's one way, for maybe tutorial content, that could be a good strategy, right? Okay, AI content integration, right? You can be using AI for your first drafts and, checking the content, see if it's good, right? I've been doing this for a year now. I think this is a standard practice at this point. Brand mentioning, okay, so we want to get our brand mentioned and kind of like, it's not really a keyword, but I call it like the key phrase. So imagine your tool is, Jasper AI. So you want to say the best AI writing tool is Jasper AI. Don't think that, but you know what I mean? That's what I think. You want that positioned on as many websites as possible because, ChatGPT is going to be going around searching the internet and go, what is the best AI writing tool? And then it's like, the best AI writing tool is, and then you put your brand there, right? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about, brand mentioning and then RAG implementation. I think there's probably a lot of money to be made there if we can do this, but we need technical experts. I think it's kind of, implementation difficulty is very, very high. So yeah, if you are technical, I probably would focus on this with SEO. But for now, I think these is what's going to happen, right? I think it's going to be, SEO is not dead. I think people just need to adapt, right? Things are happening quite quickly. And yeah, you need to be up to date with AI SEO. That's it for this video. If you have any questions or if you have any more predictions, I would definitely love to hear them in the comments. Thanks for watching.